guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
What is that sound effect?
The great library that we have here in Zeta, I literally just typed in turkey into our all-encompassing links page, which houses all of our sounds, and that was the best one I could find.
I think there's a Jim Harbaugh one in there. It might be deleted now, but if you search Gobble, Gobble, see if anything comes up.
Okay.
Because at one point, Jim Harbaugh got up to a podium. I don't know if he was like the
Was
Niners
that 3 years
coach.
ago?
I think it was longer ago.
No.
Jive, turkey,
I don't
gobble.
think there was ever a question there.
Yep.
I think it's just a lot of gobble, gobble turkey, you know?
What is gobble gobble turkey?
Just gobble, gobble, gobble turkey from Jive Turkey Gobblers, you know? It's just, that paints a pretty good picture of it. He's a very confident guy.
There he is, right there, the master of Thanksgiving ceremonies himself, Jim Harbaugh. So there's a lot of people I think that are new to Mackey and Judd, whether you found us on the Score North YouTube channel or you just found our podcast in the last couple of years. But one thing that we have done for, God, it's got to be 7 years. I want to say like 7 consecutive Thanksgivings. Our friend, the legendary Patrick Royce, for 40-plus years has done his Turkey of the Year column in the Star Tribune that comes out early in the morning on Thursday. Usually they post it online at like midnight Central Time on StarTribune.com. And we have spent the last 7 years trying to figure out in advance who the Turkey of the Year in Minnesota sports, or beyond, sometimes it's beyond Minnesota sports, is going to be. So I think we should carve out some time here, pun intended, to go through the list of top candidates for Minnesota sports Turkey of the Year. And if you guys want to sprinkle in just looking through, because there's who the Turkey of the Year should be, and then there's who Patrick Royce will have the Turkey of the Year be, and those two answers don't always sync up fully.
And he will purposely not pick the obvious choice because it is the choice that the rest of us would make. So it's never going.
He's a contrarian by nature, yes.
And I feel like once we started trying to guess it, he got more defensive and actually started to try to sway it more and more towards an unexpected ending. So
yeah, I don't think he likes that we try to guess it. I've got the full list here of all of the previous winners. I'm just going to speed through this real quick here. So Mark Coyle won it last year, just for general disappointment and things with the Gophers. He also likes to just jab the Gophers whenever possible. 2019, it was just the end, or so we thought. I don't think he picked a turkey. That was when he nominated him.
He won.
But 2017, he nominated himself the turkey chairman. 18 was PJ Fleck.
18 was the end.
He is the Brett Favre and the Undertaker of the Turkey of the Year column. He's tried to retire from this thing like 4 straight years.
Yes.
2016, men's athletics at the University of Minnesota. 2015, the Grim Reaper, because Flip passing away and other people.
A lot of death, yeah.
25 years of Timberwolves. Terry Ryan, Tubby Smith, Ziggy Wilf, Brett Favre 2010, Tim Brewster, Marion Gaborik, Charlie Weiss, Notre Dame head coach.
Yep.
I think Charlie Weiss is still getting paid by Notre Dame. Pam Borton, Bob Nagley, the old Wild owner, right?
Yep, the late Bob Nagley.
Red McCombs, Glenn Mason back in 2003 for losing that Michigan game. Kevin McHale and Flip Saunders together in 2002. Randy Moss and Chris Carter together in 2001. Jesse Ventura, the governor of Minnesota, in 2000. Clem Haskins, 99 for the scandal. Carl Pohlad, 98. Dennis Green, 97. And the full rest of the list is on StarTribune.com if you guys want to check it out. So we're soliciting from people on Twitter here. I will get to some of those answers, but let's just start. Like, who are the top candidates for Minnesota sports Turkey of the Year for you guys?
Well, I think what you have to do is look at how Patrick try to go inside, and this is a very tough place to get Patrick's brain, and like look inside at like what Patrick actually loves the most or did at one time, because those can be the very first people in Patrick's crosshairs,
like the
instance,
Minnesota Gophers.
Gopher sports. But that's all born of the fact that like the first team I think that Pat loved was Gopher football.
Mm-hmm.
Like he tells a story, I was in the end zone, kneeling in the end zone against Iowa. And so like he loved that. And it offends him. It offends him what's taking place there. But I would say if there's a number 2 on Patrick's list, it is clearly one team.
The Twins, right?
The Twins, no question about it.
A lot of candidates.
1961 home opener. The old man and I were there, right? So like he's been I mean, he is the unofficial official Twins historian in the state. So that being said, a lot of candidates. It's pretty juicy. It might be a little too obvious, which has to offset it.
That's good. I think we have to ignore that to start with.
Right.
Let's
that's where I would
canvas.
But that's where I would start. I would start Target Field, Falvey, Levine, Rocco.
Falvey, Levine is. Let's just throw them out right away.
Yep.
So Falvey, Levine. I made a list of all the offseason moves. So they're coming off 2019, greatest power hitting team in baseball history. 2020, they won the division again.
Yep.
You know, they made the playoffs. All right. Now it's go time. It's go time. 2021. So make some additions. J.A. Happ, bust. Matt Shoemaker, super bust, as Randy and Cotchgrove would say.
On the way out the door.
Good for him. Congratulations.
The shoe.
Good job, Shoe.
When the shoe said they tried to change me. They made me worse.
Alex Colomé blew about 15 saves in the first week. It felt like Andrelton Simmons, one of the worst offensive performances in Twins history.
Yep.
Hansel Robles just walking a plank every time he took the ball. Lamont Wade for Sean Anderson, leaving Akil Baddoo off the 40-man roster, and then he thrives for Detroit, and then just generally missing a massive window to capitalize. Those guys have to be top candidates, right?
They do.
Yes.
They do. But macro, I've got one more. And this is where Patrick will go to, because he will give this award out generally. So like it doesn't always, it's not a person all the time. And here's where I think there's a discussion to be had, because there's no question about Patrick's disgust here. Baseball in general, in his mind, and he's not wrong, is being ruined. It's being ruined by everything too. It's not just one group of the young kids, it's everything. I wonder if there's a baseball theme because they're about to go on strike or have certainly a work stoppage. So I wonder if it's above the Twins. I wonder if it's a baseball thing because he's going to be, and he is offended by where baseball has gone. And there's no doubt in my mind, this is not the sport that Patrick loves. And I don't mean likes, I mean loves.
Our friend Chad Hartman from WCCO Radio chimes in on Twitter, and he says he thinks Major League Baseball will be the turkey of the year for all of the reasons. Pace of play, popularity going down, people under the age of 40 no longer caring about baseball, just the fact that starting pitchers barely even exist anymore, especially when you get in the playoffs. There's a lot to gripe about, and you're right, it is near and dear to Patrick's heart. If we zoom back into just the Twins, I think he's always had disdain for Rocco Baldelli, and the way that if somebody has a mild headache, they're out for a week. He's just the way that he sort of coddles players, bullpen management. His recent kick, though, is an anti-Byron Buxton kick. He hates the fact that Byron Buxton and everyone does, but that Buxton misses all these games, and that he still somehow thinks that he's worth $100 million. I could see Byron Buxton rising up above the front office. Because if Buxton was healthy, the Twins, despite all those bad moves, might have flirted with a wild card spot. Miguel Sano, probably a little bit too easy.
No, it's not going to be Miguel Sano.
He was so bad early in the season, but he definitely deserves a mention here.
Yep.
And I could see Bally Sports North.
Yes,
making
that
the
was
conversation here.
You know what though?
Yes.
You know what though?
Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
Now here's the problem. I love that one. That's an awesome one. But that's more ours. And Pat's never gonna give it to something that he knows is not his. The Buxton one, as much as I think it wouldn't be appropriate, is perfect. Because like the anti-Buxton kick just started. And so that's his totally, right? Like that's Patrick's totally. In fact,
Buxton may have missed 120 games due to injury, but look, he bought lunch for the Fort Myers minor leaguers. What a generous guy.
coming up next, the Wild tries to end its 17-game losing streak with Jason Zucker, who just went to the Children's Hospital for the 14th consecutive day. So the Buxton kick just started. That's actually because that's totally his. That's a good one. Like I don't think it's appropriate or right, but that's a really good one.
Dex, I want to hear your Bally's point here.
Yeah, I think Bally's in general and just Twins coverage, like the umbrella of Twins coverage, the weirdness of defense, the walking back over weird decisions, the just weird overall defense of a ball club that stunk, that was bad. And I understand it is more of our thing. I get what Judd's saying there, but Pat is aware of it. And to the Bally's point, I mean, he rips even Dave Benz. He rips, obviously, the Wild's broadcast and stuff, and it's just disdain for hockey in general. I can see Bally's being a leading candidate for Turkey of the Year.
Well, we should mix in some comments from the audience here, too, because we did throw the bat signal out on Twitter. Who do you think should be the Turkey of the Year? And Vike that chimes in and says Twins writers. He's not happy with the way that the Twins writers cover it. I don't think Pat will go after Twins writers.
That's way too close to home. That might get kicked back, actually.
If I was writing it,
the Strib has writers.
The Strib has Twins writers. Exactly right.
Hey, the Twins are 18 games under 500. But look, Ryan Jeffers is framing pitches better than he was last year. Give him a 10-year contract extension.
Here's how Zoom interviews work behind the scenes.
Oh, wow. That was Declan Goff.
God.
That's D-G-O-F-F.
That was Declan Goff. As you were trying to find something, a new angle.
I don't care. Find something else.
Clearly you don't care.
All right. Let's keep going down the list here. I mean, Gersson Rosas is almost too obvious.
No, but
he'll make mention of Gersson Rosas.
Yeah.
And Gersson Rosas would be the public's choice for Turkey of the Year, probably.
But Gersson Rosas is so he'll be mentioned as being like at the table because it's a punchline because like all of the stuff of why he got let go. But Gersson Rosas actually deserves credit. He's put together a good basketball team.
He has. It's like this is the roster that he constructed, and they look pretty good.
So like, if the main thing about Gersson Rosas was, well, he didn't treat his employees like he should have, I'd be like, oh, okay, unless he like abused them, put together a good team. Now the other stuff is a problem, but yeah, I don't think that he is. And in fact, I think he deserves some credit. Strib Sports Person of the Year.
I think he deserves a +1 at that Turkey of the Year table.
Strib Sports Person. I challenge my friends at the Star Tribune to have the cojones to make Gersson Rosas your Sports Person of the Year.
Well, you want to talk about cojones. How about if Patrick Gracie put the owner of the Star Tribune at the table, Glen Taylor, who, if you count interims, has now gone through 9 different GMs or Pobos over the last 14 years. Yeah. Now, I think Royce he doesn't pull a lot of punches, but I don't think he's gone out of his way to rip Glenn, A, because it's too easy, and B, because he owns the Star Tribune.
They can't. Yeah, like no one at that place rips Glenn, and they can't. Like, you can't. Would
Glenn even notice?
Glenn's people.
Glenn's oblivious to the Timberwolves.
Glenn's people.
He didn't even know who. He didn't even know who
people would.
He didn't know who Gupta was before he.
I agree with you.
Who's that guy? Oh, he's gonna run the franchise now. Okay, cool. I think I saw him in the hallway one time.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he does.
What about Zach Parise, Ryan Suter as sort of a lifetime achievement Turkey award?
No, boring. And keep in mind too, Patrick didn't lash out, but Patrick shot back at me a couple of days ago when I talked about the fact that it had been disappointing. I don't think it's disappointing. No. He is on. That's where you're. So to get back inside the mind of Patrick, that's where your Buxton point is dead on. And in fact, if you recall, when people were ripping Buxton a few years ago, Patrick defended him at that time. Patrick takes a hard right on where the public is going. So Suter Parisi might be deserved, but he would never do it.
And again, I'm just going to keep throwing these out because I like your logic. You're putting yourself in the head and shoes of Patrick Ricey,
but 30+ years.
PJ Fleck lost to Bowling Green as a 30-point favorite. He's already been the Turkey of the Year, and Ricey loves teeing off on him. But it's worth mentioning that PJ Fleck lost to Bowling Green as a 30-point favorite.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I don't think it would be so expected now. I don't think he can do it. I've got one that would be out of left field completely. Would allow Patrick to take a shot. I don't think he would do it, but it's the type of thing that would at least cross his mind.
Lindsay Whalen. For an underperforming.
That's a good one though.
She'd like it,
dude. It would be.
She would call Pat and be like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Good pick."
I think she'd be kind of mad, but I don't know. It's an honor. It's an honor.
How about this one? Just a thought too. So I'm not saying that this is going to be the choice. A-Rod, Mark Lowry. Because A-Rod he just hates.
He loves to punch up. He loves to punch up.
And Lowry is sort of in that phase of the rest of us are like, oh yeah, this is cool.
And Pat's gonna come in and be like, you're building a city of the future.
And punch up.
I could see the Turkey of the Year banquet being held in the city of the future.
Oh my God.
With all of these.
I hope
I'm not spoiling his. Well, he won't hear this anyways. So.
No, it's a podcast. Don't concern yourself with that.
Could the banquet be held? Is it Tolosa in the city of the future? But then there's all these things wrong with the city or all these weird idiosyncrasies.
That would be oh my God, that's good, Phil.
And then Gersson Rosas shows up with a +1. I gave him permission to use that joke.
And they're like, Gers, sorry about that, man. It's just you.
Yeah. Well, no, but we're attached. I like that one. Okay, since we're on the Timberwolves, I don't think he would go there, which is precisely why I think there's like a 0.5% chance he would. Mm-hmm. Ryan Saunders.
I thought about this on my way in too.
It's not. I don't think it's not worth it at this point. Like Ryan's such a good guy, and you're not really punching up. It's Ryan Saunders.
No, agreed.
But I could see Pat saying, "Hey, no one's really paying attention to just how much this thing train wrecked. Everyone's just kind of like, letting it slide because Ryan's such a good guy." I'll throw the name out.
Yeah. No. Yes. I don't see it.
Other names
has he used Patino before?
I was just going to throw that one out. A lot of people on Twitter are saying Richard Pitino. And I believe, let me see here. No, he never gave it to Richard Pitino. He never liked Richard Pitino. And I think another Pat-ism here is this list historically is filled with people that he, in some cases, respects, like Brett Favre and Terry Ryan. Like, he got along great with Terry Ryan. And even Denny Green. Like, now there's the Tim Brewsters. He'll put a Tim Brewster and a PJ Fleck on here too, but sometimes I think he's willing to leave someone off if he feel like. I don't think he felt like Patino rose to the level of even being like relevant enough to be worthy of this list.
And Patino's opportunity to get it is past, because I think it felt like Patrick let off the gas on Patino a lot once Fleck came here.
Yes.
So also, like, he couldn't stand him, and then Fleck came, and he's like, yeah, he's not as bad as I thought.
Patino was kind of wrapped up in the 2016 men's athletics at the U of M.
Yeah,
that's right.
You had the football team scandal and the basketball team melted down one of those years.
Yes.
Here's a guy chiming in on Twitter who says ESPN 1,500 decision makers for not having more local radio programming. We'll relay that one to the decision makers.
We got a lot of local podcasts, videos.
Yeah, scorenorth.com.
Morning Judd, afternoon
Score North
Judd.
app.
More Judd, more Phil, more Declan. Yeah, I think you get that.
Norm here, Baseball Norm chimes in on Twitter and says Lifetime Achievement Award for Glen Taylor and Jim Polad Dark Horse, Bally Sports North for peddling their tone deaf and delusional optimism.
I'm with
it.
Declan. I'm with Declan though. Coming up next, Bally Sports North wins a prestigious local award and accepts it. Audra?
Okay, would he go Justin Morneau? If he was going to go Bally's, would he go Justin Morneau for turning into
him.
like a homer? Because he's brought that up on our show a bunch of times.
He'd mention
That's
him
a
for
good
sure.
one.
Okay.
But I love if we were to award this, I love
Bally's.
that though. Bally's would be perfect.
Bally's.
They'd be perfect.
So what have we landed on here? What have we? I think this isn't for who it would be publicly. Like the public one would probably be Gersson Rosas, but who we think Patrick will choose. I'm kind of on Buxton. I love the Laurie A-Rod thing. That's a great angle.
I'm going. It depends on Pat's mood, but I am going because we're basically on almost the eve of a baseball work stoppage. I'm going something baseball because the one thing is since Pat did death, I feel like at his age too, his senses being offended is the most important thing now. Like I think it used to be so and so had a bad year. I'm going to give him the turkey. And once we got to death, which was near the end, or supposed to be the end, I feel like it was more about these people are screwing up something I love, or I've lost friends because it was death. So I'm going to something with baseball.
Okay. What about you, Dex? What's your final prediction?
Yeah, I'm with Judd. I think it's baseball. The Buxton one's interesting because we don't really see it coming, and I think a lot of people are like, what? Why? Well, why would it be Byron Buxton? But I think just the baseball coverage in general and just the theme of baseball being in the crapper right now does make a lot of sense. You know, what's weird is the only thing we haven't talked about is football related, and not that the Vikings the Vikings are the Vikings, but like, and this is too politicized, I think, for him to go for it, but just like unvaxxed players, you know, I could see something being involved.
He's not afraid of that angle. He's definitely not afraid of that angle.
That it's not necessarily Kirk Cousins just as him, but like just the idea of the Vikings having a low vax rate and players being selfish. I can see something brewing there as well.
He could also have fun just writing the column in a way that puts like Kirk Cousins and Harrison Smith and Adam Thielen like in a different room at a different table or something. There's a lot there. Yeah. I'm gonna go Byron. Yeah, plexiglass.
They're outside. They're outside below the goal posts, and it's 13 below. That's a good one, Declan. Yeah.
Oh man, all right, I'm gonna go Buxton.
Okay.
I think it's been the thing that he has keyed in on our show the last couple weeks. He's dropping little hints here and there, and I think he's just stewing the fact that people want to give this guy $100 million. He never plays.
And he did defend him at one time when the public seemed to be turning on Buxton. But now that we're all like, should the Twins pay Byron Buxton? Well, that depends on what the Minnesota Twins want to do because we're partners.
So there it is. All right, that's our speculation. Let us know on the Score North YouTube channel in the comment section. Who do you think should be the Minnesota Sports Turkey of the Year, and who do you think Patrick will choose as the Minnesota Sports or at large Turkey of the Year? We also have to get to write that down predictions and an accountability session. Mackey and Judd, daily Minnesota sports, entertainment, therapy, etc.